Okay, so today's topics, what is day? Well, let's talk about this nofap thing. I'm not sure the number of days I'm on. I'm not even keeping count anymore. I have to really look in the video details to see what day I'm on. But my urges have calmed down. I've created a little distance between me and my urges. Could they arise deeply again? Maybe. But my main motive, and I don't really have any motive, but the way I want to perceive life is like, I don't want to look, how do I say it? I don't want to look at a woman based off of if she's attractive or not. And then I have a particular bias and I change myself because of that. Like there's a favoritism there. Like an ugly girl, you won't look her way. You don't care what she has to say. A beautiful girl, you also don't care what she has to say, but you're compliant, you're listening, and you're acting like you care because you find her physically attractive. You see how limiting that is? It's kind of sad. But I don't want to look at it also as right and wrong. Just the fact that it's limited. Because it is. I don't want to look at anybody based off what they have or who they are, physically, environmentally, even personality-wise, as a bias. Now, is it better to be in the company of positive personalities? Of course. You don't want to be around negativity. But to make myself change because of somebody negative is not good. Or I wouldn't say not good, but just limited. It's limited. But attractive girl walks past, you get timid, you get animalistic, you're like in a daze because an attractive girl's there, and you completely lose yourself, and you're just using the physical attraction as a means to get joy. So, and relationships, me and relationships have no clue, because I have no clue with relationships because, well, I know a lot of it is physical, body based, reproduction based, to keep the human race on. But with humans, it's evolved into an addiction to get joy, to feel alive, to feel joyful, to feel like you're complete. You need a physical, body-based relationship. Me personally, though, what I'm striving towards, or the way I want to choose to perceive life, is to not look at any woman out there for their physical attraction. And all these girls want to look beautiful, right? They all want to dress up with makeup and get a certain style and get in shape and all this stuff to look physically attractive. They do it. That's why the woman cosmetic industry is massive. Like, they shop, so. But I'm not here to say what's right and wrong. I'm just saying, me personally, I just want to look at life like a child. And I don't want to have any perception bias towards attractive females. The need to get in a relationship, the need to get an attractive female. I just don't want that. But what it does is, your mind and body has been so used to seeking validation in attractive females, attractive women, or in success, in looking successful in front of people, that when you no longer identify with these things within, when you make a change within, they are there fighting to be alive. They want to exist. Look at me. You remember how you used to lust over attractive females? hey, look at me. You remember how you used to want to have to be successful for the approval of others? Hey, look at me, look at me. You know, these things, they sort of tether on a little bit and brings a void in the heart and the chest. Not in the heart, but in the solar plexus, you know. But thank you to Sadhguru, thank you to the Isha Foundation, Shami Mahmudra Kriya, Isha Kriya, and just the wise words of Sadhguru and many yogis and wise people that I've listened to has helped me get better understanding and has gave me a new perception on how to approach it. Now, do I lack the sweetness of emotion? Yeah, I'm an up and down right now. Sometimes I get nice bliss, peaceful, calm, and sometimes I'm low vibey. But the truth is, it's all just mental noise, really. That's really what it is. If you just really look at it, it's all just mental noise. Nothing a nice long sleep can't handle. A nice drink of water, a nice gym session with come back and do some kriya and eat a nice meal cannot handle. You know, that is all. That shit can handle that. You know. What else do I have to say? Also, this is for anybody who's into like Neville Goddard and manifestation and things of that nature. I'm testing something out where at first I used to think that when I put my mental concentration power on a thought and emotion, that it's doing more damage than good. But today I found out that after my Isha Kriya, which I do Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, then Isha Kriya right after those two Kriyas, I sat down in my chair and just did for about 3 minutes where I did my law of assumption. And for the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, the energy there was calm and blissful. And it was like I was my goal and I was experiencing my goal here. And then a little bit for like 30 seconds, there was a mental block saying, no, you're in this reality, like the way I'm living and looking at life now. And what I did was I increased the voltage of my mental will, you can say. And this did like fuse out that negative, I don't want to say negative, but the perception that was locked in my awareness. It kind of fused it out and I became the dream or the preferred perception, you know, the preferred identity. So that's a no. So now I know that using the will to forcefully push can work. I don't know what it is doing to me metaphysically, but the shit does work. So let me mention a couple other things. Another thing to mention is I'm going to be doing a new challenge. So the 7-day challenge will be up today, basically. This is the last day. So I'm going to go to sleep and then finish it, you know, or do my last like 7-day challenge. And then I'm going to start a new challenge, which for 3 days, I'm going to do a new routine similar to this one, but a little less in some areas like the law of assumption and the 2 Isha Kriyas, only 1 Isha Kriya. But, so I'm going to go a little bit less intense on that. But on the 4th day, I'm going to do law of assumption all day. I'm going to attempt to do the law of assumption all day, which is basically assuming a certain identity as if it's real. And I'm basically going to be using my will and my awareness to be in that perception all day as an experiment. And one thing I gotta say as well is, when you look at your awareness, when you really look, there's an identity there of who you believe yourself to be, your tendencies, your emotions, who you believe you are, your family, all that stuff. Careful, because you don't want to push this too far if you're not ready. Click off the video. But, because then you're going to go into a weird void of sporadic, who am I? You might not be ready, so careful. But when you look at your awareness, you're saying you're all these things. And There's little dialogues going on in there, in the subtle awareness, right? That you're attaching to thought dialogues, emotional dialogues. The energy is there. Now, you can just simply be aware and not be in any dialogue. So you can fuse out those dialogues by simply being aware. Meaning like aware of you, who you are, not, and you'll see though, that when you begin to pay attention to who you are, like to who you are, you'll see that there's little dialogues there of, my friend said this to me, I gotta be successful, I gotta make a lot of money, I gotta get this girl, I gotta eat food, I gotta go to work at this time. There's these little things in here that is telling you all the things that you live your life based off of, like your routine. It's in there. I gotta check my phone. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta finish this video. I gotta finish this video. All those little mental dialogues, they're there. And if you just simply pay attention to you, then eventually there's no dialogue. If you grow that you, that pure awareness, eventually there's no dialogue. If you just simply pay attention. I use this right here, this third eye right here, and I just simply look right here. And if you simply look right here strong enough while trying to look at who you are, you enter into like a state of pure awareness where the dialogues simmer down and they disappear. Now what you can do though is, once the dialogue simmers down and disappears, you can also place your own perception in there that you choose. So normally the perception of you is a guy who is addicted to phone, addicted to fapping, addicted to negativity, arguing with people. Now you want to be different. So then place the guy who is a rich, successful, happy guy and get into that dream of that. Get into the realness dream of it. Make it so real like it's a dream, like it's just already been a thing. Right? Really push it like you are it. And if you can do that, everything else disappears. Every problem disappears. Everything goes away. Now there's nuances, but I'm not getting into the details today. Anyways, this is all I have to say.